Future updates may be coming to the Xbox Series controller. During the most recent Kinda Funny XCast, Phil Spencer talked about the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller and the Xbox Series controller. Now, with the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, Phil Spencer praised it, and this isn't the first time, and he says that future updates may be coming to the Xbox controller based off of what we've seen with the DualSense. So when it comes to Phil Spencer praising the DualSense controller, this was something he said back in November. I applaud what they did with the DualSense controller, not actually for, well, I shouldn't say not for the specifics of the controller, but more than just the specifics of the controller. I think for all of us in the industry, we should learn from each other and the innovation that we all push on, whether it's distribution of business model like Game Pass or controller tech or the Wii back in the day, which clearly had an impact on us when we went off and did Kinect and Sony did the move. And here's what he said on the Kinda Funny XCast recently. He says, when I think about the hardware roadmap, and I really love the evolution of Liz Hamren's team and the work they've done, we're definitely thinking about different kinds of devices that can bring more games to more places. There's probably some work that we'll do on the controller. I think Sony's done a nice job with their controller, and we kind of look at some of that and think there are things that we should go do, but we're probably not in the more bespoke accessories place right now. Now, he goes on and recognizes that obviously with the Xbox controllers, there is the regular Xbox Series controller, then there is the Elite controller, and that they don't have the same functionality, saying here, not all of our controllers have all of the same capability. The Elite has buttons on the back and stuff. We can't turn the Xbox controller inside out because there's so much expectation about the way it should work now, but we can innovate on top of that. So this has a lot of people thinking and wondering if Xbox is going to redesign the Xbox Series controller, or are they going to take features like haptic feedback, like adaptive triggers, and bring these over to the next Elite controller. I personally think that they would more than likely do this with another Elite, like the Elite version 3, rather than completely redesign the Xbox Series controllers, because in all reality, there is really nothing wrong with the Xbox Series controller. It is a very good controller. It's like the perfect controller, in my opinion, in terms of its ergonomics. It works well. It fits really well in your hands. Extremely comfortable. Has the impulse triggers. That's like the additional thing that we did not have back on the Xbox 360 controllers. They brought that into the Xbox One. And it has the share button as well. So, I mean, overall, it's a great controller. I have absolutely no complaints with the Xbox Series controllers. And on top of that, they've just reopened the Xbox Design Lab, where people are coming up with some really cool designs for the Xbox controller. And I doubt that they would make a brand new Series controller anytime soon and then sell it with the Xbox Design Labs and all that kind of stuff, because I feel like it would really be ripping people off who just did their design labs with the current Series controller. They would probably be annoyed because they would want to have their same color scheme and everything on a newly designed Series controller with new features. But with that being said, in all honesty, I like the PlayStation 5 DualSense. It is a good controller, like it fits well. I do like the way that the Xbox controller fits in my hands more. I do prefer it overall as a controller over the PlayStation 5 DualSense. Now with the PS5, I've played the Astrobot demo that came with the PS5, Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and I recently just started Sackboy: A Big Adventure. And all of those games utilize the haptic feedbacks and the adaptive triggers in the PlayStation 5 DualSense. But if I'm going to be completely honest, and I know people may think that I'm just saying this because I'm an Xbox centric channel and I do Xbox news basically, so I'm not going to be able to say that I love the PlayStation 5 DualSense, and that's couldn't be further from the truth. I do like the controller, but I am not the biggest fan of the adaptive triggers, and the haptic feedbacks are cool when utilized properly, but it isn't, in my opinion, a game-changing revolutionary feature for immersion, especially right now, currently, the way that it is being utilized. I'm sure as we go further through this generation, it will get a lot better. But like, for example, playing through Sackboy, it just kind of feels like the entire time you're playing, the controller is just rumbling. And there isn't that much rhyme or reason, in my opinion, why it's always rumbling, and that can get annoying. And with Miles Morales, I didn't really feel the haptic feedbacks added too much to the game, and the adaptive triggers were just annoying to me. With Ratchet and Clank, I think there was better utilization there with the haptic feedback and the triggers and everything, but actually with the adaptive triggers, specifically with Ratchet and Clank, there were times where I just turned it off because I found it extremely annoying with some of the guns. My finger just got sore at times, start to hurt because it was just like so annoying having to push down way harder to shoot some weapons. It's not for me. And then with Astrobot, I think that was the only game so far which was like the tech demo for the DualSense that fully utilized the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedbacks in a great way throughout the entire game. So if you were to ask me, sure, if they added haptic feedbacks to the Xbox controller, I would be cool with that. Maybe enhance it a bit more, because sometimes I find the rumble isn't that strong and it doesn't give me enough sensation, but I could definitely do without the adaptive triggers. I really am not a fan of the adaptive triggers at all on the DualSense. I much rather prefer the impulse triggers that the Xbox controller has. So yes, the DualSense was definitely a next generation controller based off of the DualShock 4, because I found the DualShock 4 was a bad controller, but I don't want to just see companies completely copying what the DualSense is doing, because I definitely think there can be improvements, especially with those adaptive triggers. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Have you used the DualSense, and have you used the series controller, and do you like the DualSense features, and would you like to see them just transferred over into an upgraded Xbox controller? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you like what you see throughout this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow and help grow this community so we can have great conversations in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.